How's it going, everyone? Welcome to episode 31 of the ControllerCast. I'm joined, as always, by Senor Andrew Eisenhower and the fellow gentleman himself, the librarian, Johnny B. Wood. How's it going, guys? John, how about you start us off with what you've been up to since the last episode?
I've been pretty good. This week's honestly been pretty calm for the most part. I don't have a whole lot going on, obviously, as you guys could tell, because
Just getting married, about to get married.
yeah,
Okay.
usually it's something like that, but no, got that done. But as you guys saw, I was playing a lot of Rocket League Sideswipe. Highly recommend it. If any of you that are listening are fans of Rocket League and you need that little gaming that gaming kick when you're on your phone out and about, I would highly recommend downloading Rocket League Sideswipe and playing. Graham, I'm talking to you, boss. You would love it. Honestly, other than that, I mean, I've been grinding that. I played 7 hours of it. I sent you guys a screenshot. Other than that, we hung out with Andrew and Jared last night. That was really fun. Watched Iowa get their shit kicked in, which was always good because I was rooting for Michigan last night. And then also we hung out with our friends Dylan, Zach, and Acacia on Friday night and got to meet their new puppy. She's a chocolate lab, like 7 months old now, and oh my gosh, she's the cutest thing. She literally was smiling like all night. Anytime we were like talking to her or giving her any attention, she was like, she had this little grin on her face where she like wasn't showing her teeth, but she was it was so cute. Really, other than that, we've been watching some Christmas movies. Like I think I've actually mentioned it on the podcast before, but Christmas Chronicles on Netflix. I would recommend watching that if you're a Christmas movie fan and you want to watch something that's a little newer. I was gonna check out the new Home Alone that was put on Disney Plus, but then I was like,
I heard it's terrible.
It is terrible.
Yeah, I've heard it's fucking awful.
Wow, Disney made a show that sucked. Surprise.
Okay. I know Jungle Cruise was a big miss, so I wouldn't be surprised if that Home Alone was a big miss as well. I mean, it didn't make it to the theaters. I think it just went straight to streaming, right?
The fucking 2021 equivalent of straight to DVD release.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. I forgot about straight to DVD releases.
Coming
Yeah, when like Lion King, remember when like
theaters.
Lion King 2 and like all these like sequels.
And 1.5.
Yeah, they just went straight to DVD.
1.5. What was that? Didn't make any sense. It was so stupid. It was like a copy of, or it was like an extended version of the Hakuna Matata song, but just in a full-length movie. It's so dumb. Oh, I mean, that's pretty much it for how I'm doing. We didn't really have a whole lot else going on this week. What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, last night, like you said, we watched some football and hung out with Jared, and we watched critically acclaimed international superstar Yanni on Nebraska Public Television. Shout out Yanni. Make some fucking bangers. He was playing at the Acropolis. Absolute legends. I didn't even know they did like the fucking Greek Red Rocks. Beautiful.
Literally Red Rocks.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. I had never even heard of Yanni before, but in the college football Discord I'm in, I said, turn off football and watching Yanni, and somebody said international legend, and I was like, damn, okay.
Dang, someone knew it.
I know. So yeah, we watched Iowa get done to them what we thought was going to happen all year. When they played a good team, they got decimated. We watched Pitt. Pitt win a fucking conference championship yesterday. And Cincinnati is going to the playoff. That's pretty sick. And Alabama beat the shit out of Georgia because Georgia fans can't have nice things.
Man, Georgia out. Did they drop out of the playoff?
No, they'll be in it still, I think.
Wow.
But yesterday we went to me and Jordan went to this Christmas market that was in Exarban. It was all right. It was not a whole lot of vendors that we're interested in. they usually like when we go to like the farmers market and like junk stock and stuff, they have this like egg roll place that's really, really good. And they make
Yeah.
like specialty egg rolls.
Egg
They
warm.
make yeah, they make specialty egg rolls, and they were not there, and we were like bummed as hell because like that was like we were gonna like eat that for breakfast. So I was pretty disappointed. But I mean it was pretty cool. It was like they set up just like a shit ton of tents and just had it in all these tents, and it was like 50 outside. So I don't know why it wasn't just outdoors, but you know, it's whatever. It was pretty cool. But other than that, yeah, that was my week was pretty uninteresting. I got one more week of accounting left for my master's.
We've also become a slave to Hotworks.
Yeah, fucking if you follow me on Instagram, you see me posting planks every day because I'm trying to get that free gym membership, baby. So so if you're annoyed, you can pay me $60 and I'll stop.
Thanks, $60. That's crazy.
That is.
Wait, is it like a family membership that you or anything, or is it like you guys individually pay 60?
No, it's individual, but they're open
Dang.
24/7, and I mean we go like at least like 5 or 6 times a week, so we get our money's worth.
So is the whole gym like heated up, or is there certain
There's like
sections?
individual sauna rooms that you can like change the temperature on and stuff. So it's like a private like workout place because you can only put like I think you can only fit 2 people in each room. So like me and Jordan will just go together and work out. I like didn't used to go as much because a lot of their stuff was like cardio. But now they added like a bunch. They added like a bands class where you're like in the sauna like doing all these band workouts and shit. And they added like one of those big rowing machines. So it's pretty cool. If you're ever thinking about going, I can or well, I guess Arsenal, you're in Arizona, but John, if you ever wanted to go, I can take one.
No, there's
for a free class sometime.
Oh
no, I meant yeah, they're in Phoenix, but like I meant like teaching people.
Oh yeah,
100% be down because I've been getting back into working out too since Casey's pregnant and I'm eating for 2. She's eating for 2. I've definitely been eating like I'm pregnant, so.
It's a pretty cool place. Me and Jordan like it a lot, so.
Yeah, so I mean, speaking of working out, I mean, even me too. But mine is a little more recent. I got for Black Friday, I got Ring Fit Adventure. That is an ass kicking on its own. Maybe I'm a pussy. Maybe I'm just a pussy.
Bro, if you really put the effort in, it is legit a good ass workout. Like I swear I'm actually building muscle from this because I use Ring Fit primarily.
Yeah, honestly, everything is like pretty manageable, and then you get into like the quote unquote the boss fights, and you're like doing like 20 squats followed by like ab crunches followed by like like just back to back to back, and you're like, holy shit,
dude. As you go on, there's moments where you'll do like 40 squats in one like go or 30.
Dude, you know what's more impressive about that game is people speed run that game. Like, that's a game that you like physically have to be capable of speed running.
How?
The most athletic.
They just do the whole game in one fucking workout. Like you have to be doing like a fucking Iron Man, bro.
Yeah, legit. That takes some stamina. I could not.
Dude, if you speed run Ring Fit, you're either psychotic or you're like the most fit person on the planet and Nintendo hates you.
A god.
Have you beaten the adventure mode?
No, I just do the workouts. I got kind of tired of the adventure mode, but I should probably finish it.
Yeah, I got like halfway through it and then I stopped for some reason. I think it's
I just like doing the workouts because sometimes like you have to like
watch cutscenes.
You have to watch cutscenes and cater your like the exercise you do to like fight a specific boss, which is kind of annoying if you're trying to like focus on one thing. And then the game's like, oh, you have to fight this boss by doing one-legged squats or some shit like that.
Dude, it gets hard. I think that's why I stopped playing the story mode because it got so hard. Like literally one like level would be longer than a typical workout that I'd even do.
Really? Holy shit.
35 minutes long or 40.
One level or like one chapter or whatever.
I guess it might have been like one chapter.
Okay.
I
I was gonna say
think
one level is longer than a whole workout. Holy shit.
I might have got to that point actually. There was one boss battle I couldn't beat too. Like I couldn't even
Damn.
literally, it was crazy. Like I wasn't physically capable of moving on.
Damn.
So,
Damn. That means I'm definitely not gonna be able to. But no, I wanted to get back. So when I came back from like Houston, uh I feel like I ate so much there and I had so much like bloat. I feel like I need to like go get this checked with the doctor or something. Like where I felt like I was pregnant, dude. Like my belly was sticking out so much. And I was like, dude, I must have put on like 10 pounds or something on this trip. Like, 10 to 12 pounds. I was like, I'm ready to come back and weigh like 12, like 10 pounds more than I was when I left. And then I came back and I only weighed 3 pounds more, which like I was just shocked by that. I was like, I feel like there's something wrong here. But now it's like, now I'm completely back to what I was before I left. So I
maybe
don't know. I was like,
a lot of water or something.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I was like, there must have been something like in the water there, bro. Like I was bloated. I felt like uncomfortably full at times. Like, and like with like Pakistani culture and stuff, like people are always trying to feed you food. It's just like a form of like hospitality. And if you decline it, you look like an asshole like half the time. So it's like, so like, and there's generally points near the end of that trip where I was like, I'm sorry, I can't eat. Like, I legitimately feel uncomfortably full. Like I'm in pain. Like I'm in pain. I'm this full. So that's why. And I came back. I was like, I'm gonna hit the workout. I'm gonna hit the grind. I'm also just gonna try to eat a healthier more. So like last night we made like salmon and kale salad with like broccoli and cheddar soup. It's pretty good.
Damn, I had a double cheeseburger last night.
Yeah, I had
I
Chinese.
mean, I'm no saint. The night before I had what's the equivalent of like Abelardo's out here? It's called Philly Bear Toes.
Hey,
uh,
tacos and
Damn,
burritos and stuff are not that unhealthy though.
that's a name
Not
and a half. That place is probably fire.
Filiberto's. But what else in terms of my own personal goings? What's been going on? Oh, I one I played through the entirety of Metroid Dread. Not a very long game actually. Um, it was about 8 hours total.
played almost
Um,
as much sideswipe as you did to finish it.
yeah, I thought it was gonna take me about 7.5, but the final boss of the game is a bit of an ass whooping. You have to like pretty much play that final fight like it's Guitar Hero. Like you have to like have it memorized to a fault. Yeah, like if it's like a rhythm game, you just have to like get the timing down, and it's insane. But no, I mean I really enjoyed it. Like, all things considered, it's just that there was some issues I had with the game. Like, I just feel like if you're trying to play the game on like the Joy Cons, I feel like the Joy-Con sticks are not accurate enough. Let it be known the Joy Cons are like the worst fucking controller known to man.
Yeah,
But using those to like accurately aim in a game that's like already hard, very hard, is like you're playing the game on hard mode, trying to play with Joy Cons. So that was not fun. And then also there's this enemy in the game that like follows you in certain areas, and the second it touches you, you have like it lets you like counter him, but the counter is like, I shit you not, like the timing is like there's two counter opportunities, and the first one is like a quarter of a second, and the second one is like a tenth of a second, and it's so fast, and it's random. They literally tell you, they're like, don't try to like plan your strategy around just running into this character and countering him, like because the timing is random and the time to counter is like so small. It's like you just need to try to avoid him, but like you will just get caught by these fuckers and you will die instantly, and then you'll get set back. So it's just a really stupid mechanic. I don't know who at Nintendo thought that was like, oh yeah, this is like fun. Like this is a good idea. Let's just add this enemy that'll like insta kill you. Like, so I don't know. I don't think it's game of the year contender status. And honestly, like I was telling these guys, it just made me want to go back and play the Metroid Prime games, which are the best Nintendo franchise ever. So like anyone
I just
they're just way better. So Metro Prime 4, I'm still waiting for you, but Prime, great game. I'd probably say it's like an 8 out of 10, honestly. I feel like I've been giving a lot of games that score this year, but yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on it. I don't know if you guys are still interested in playing it after what I've detailed.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Like I'm not even like
hard to.
trying to be like an elitist or something. Like I don't know if you guys could finish the game. It's hard. Like it's
Yeah.
really hard.
Like full disclosure, I still have not like actually completed Hades yet. Like I've almost beat the final boss numerous times, but and if it's comparable to that, then yeah, I doubt I'd be able to beat it. Or at least if I did beat it, I'd probably get really annoyed with it.
Like Tana can attest to you guys. Like there was moments where I was just like, this is game. I was like, this game is fucking stupid, bro. This game sucks. Like I was just like, those rage moments where you're just like, this is the shittiest game ever when it's not, but you're just pissed off.
Points.
Yeah.
That was me playing Mario Sunshine. That game is a good game, but god damn it, the mechanics are so terrible and it plays like slippery, buttery shit.
The Rat King, like I hate the shit that Naughty Dog does.
Yeah. It's like I was like, yeah, Nintendo, you guys are fucking asshats. Like, who fucking thought this was a good idea? You guys are terrible. Me just spouting everything I fucking hate about like Nintendo in 10 seconds. But no, still like enjoyable game. Just I don't know what people are. Okay, maybe that's a little harsh. I was gonna say I don't know what people are smoking, but I don't know. Game of the Year nominee.
Is there any replayability with it?
I'm kind of surprised. Like, I mean, I guess if you want to just replay the game, yeah, if you just want to replay the game, it's like, but that you can say that about literally any game. Oh, let me try to speed run like fucking Ghost of Tsushima. It's like you can replay any game. It's just that I don't know. Like, I guess Metroid is a little more built for that, but no, I wouldn't even say there's that much replayability.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's really short. I know when we all heard about this game being announced, we thought maybe it could be like 20-25 hours, but no, it's not. And I'm glad it wasn't, because like this game is really hard. And if it was like 25 hours of that, I probably wouldn't have made it through, honestly. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Metroid Dread. I guess a little mini review there. But from there we can kind of get into the main, or not the main topic, current events. And I actually kind of put in an impromptu topic while we were doing, or how we're doing section, but it made me think about this and I wanted to talk to you guys about this. But general question, are you guys getting Disney Plus fatigue?
Yeah, I was telling John and Jared last night when I saw the Book of Boba Fett trailer, I was like, Jesus, like, can we just like stop? Can we just like take a little breaky poo? Like, I'm not even gonna bother watching that shit. I'm so bored.
Well, I mean, I feel like they've had a couple of misses lately, Disney Plus, and rather than just pump out as much content as you can, I feel like they could like allocate their resources to maybe less really, really good hard-hitting content. But yeah, like, first of all, Jungle Cruise, terrible. Apparently, then I would not recommend sitting through 2.5 hours of this wannabe Pirates of the Caribbean.
You don't want to watch The Rock and Emily Blunt.
It's bad, and Emily Blunt is terrible. Like, that's worst performance I've seen. Like, I did not like her character at all.
She always looks like she's about to cry.
Yeah, she always just looks like she's about to cry. That's why I hated Sicario.
Apparently, the Home Alone's garbage too, and then Hawkeye is like, okay, I like it, but to me, it's just not. It's kind of
Jeremy Renner
for me, as like it is Jeremy Renner, and he's just like, I don't know, he's kind of mad to me, but that's kind of a dumb opinion.
You don't want to download the Jeremy Renner app so you can follow Jeremy Renner as close as possible?
Like, and I don't have any rhyme or reason for it. I just don't like the guy very much. I don't know why.
I'm not a huge MCU guy, but Hawkeye seems like the most lame ass superhero ever.
And it kind of says that like in the show almost.
Like Iron Man has like the suit, Hulk is like super strength, and then Hawkeye is like, I shoot bows and arrows, bro.
Literally. And he's deaf now, and that's like half the story. I don't know. It just feels very Falcon and Winter Soldier to me. It's kind of got like the same vibes to it. So, and I
Okay.
didn't really I didn't care for Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
You know,
There's just they're pumping out shit.
this is like where my issues stem. And this is what happened with Star Wars, where it's like, and I think like okay, I really like Star Wars. And I really like obviously the MCU, two of my favorite properties. But like, who asked for like a Hawkeye TV show? Who like, do we really need a second Mandalorian TV show about Boba Fett? Why not just incorporate him into the Mandalorian? You know, like or like how they're making an Ahsoka TV show. Why not just incorporate her into the Mandalorian? Like, it's like what the like. It's like they're making these like
Then there's Star Wars Bad Bitch.
yeah bad bitch like you know how like regular TV shows that are like serialized like this like they usually have multiple storylines going on to begin with, like Breaking Bad or like literally any TV show. Like I don't know why Disney is going this route where every TV show just has one storyline in each episode, and it's like, oh hey, and if we want to focus on any other characters in the show, let's give them their own show. Like, why are we getting a fucking Boba Fett? I like Boba Fett. Why are we getting a Boba Fett show? It's like,
Especially when he was in Mandalorian.
I know.
Like, why
It's
does
like-
he need a whole show? Just make a new storyline and don't give us one storyline like you said and make it a chore to watch the fucking show every week because I know exactly who the main character of each episode is going to be and what's going to happen.
Literally. I'm excited for the Obi-Wan show because I feel like that'll be different enough. But yeah, it's another Mando show. Legit.
Like, bro, I fucking guarantee there's gonna be a character from the Obi-Wan show. And there's gonna be some fan favorite character that's not Obi-Wan or someone that they like. And guess what? That motherfucker is gonna get his own show. And then it's just gonna keep spiraling off. There's guaranteed gonna be a spin-off show for every like main show that they create, I swear.
And it's crazy. Like you would think like, oh, it's a money grab, but like Disney Plus has subscription. It's a subscription based thing. So like the more content they add, technically, I would think the more diluted the profits. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
And then
understand.
like even on the MCU end, like they're making an Agatha Harkness show.
Yeah, what the hell? Who asked for
Oh yeah.
who?
It's like it's the same thing. Yeah, it's literally the same thing on the MCU. And oh, like fucking there's a character that everyone likes. Give her own show.
It's like somebody at Disney is like a complete boomer about how like memes work on the internet, and they were like, oh, people cared about Agatha and made TikToks with the Agatha theme for a week. Like, they must all love her. Let's make her a new show.
Literally.
like,
They
bro,
don't realize that like the reason it lasted for a week is because nobody gives a fuck.
Like I'd even argue that Agatha was kind of uninteresting anyway.
I would argue that the show honestly started going down once she entered the picture.
Low-key. Yeah.
Like the last 3 episodes of that show are the worst episodes of that show.
Like it's back to typical MCU fare,
Yeah.
which is fine, but like what made WandaVision special was how unique it was. And
Exactly.
Bye.
Like
bro,
I can respect them if they make like shows about franchises that aren't like over milked to shit like MCU and Star Wars. Like they're making like a new Proud Family movie. Like Proud Family was the shit when I was a kid. Like I don't need fucking like I don't need like Jabba the Hutt's like third henchman to have his own fucking TV show. like what the fucking clarinet player in the Cantina band gets his own fucking show too. Why not?
I feel it's like if like Breaking Bad, right? Let's just take Breaking Bad was like run by was like run by Disney, bro. Like Breaking Bad, the show would just be Walter White, and then they would have it like after one season, they'd like have like Hank have his own fucking TV show. Him doing like, hunting
Yeah, if
motherfuckers
Disney ran
down.
Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul would have come out after the first season.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, every character would have their own thing. Like Game of Thrones, every single plot arc in that show would just be its own show.
That would be way
Gotta
too.
maximize the streaming capabilities.
I mean, I would not about Lord Baelish having his own show, but the true
Sansa, I will win the Game of Thrones.
I will win.
What's the next step of your master Game of Thrones?
I always forget that he is that character in Dark Knight Rises. So funny. He's the best character in the whole movie.
What's the next step of your Game of Thrones?
Yeah, like if Christopher Nolan was on that Disney Plus vibe, then that character would have his own ass movie.
What led up to him putting Bane on that plane? Let's have a 6-episode miniseries about it.
That's 6 hours long.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I don't know. I agree. I feel like there's a little bit
oversaturation.
Yeah, and with the current climate and everything that's going on outside and the fact that it's winter now, I'm not mad. I like having content, but I mean, at the same time, all the things we just talked about. It's like you guys could be a little more creative, maybe, than just reusing characters and making entire uninteresting shows about them, like Hawkeye. Nah, it's okay. It's all right. I'll be interested to see how it ends.
Well, speaking of characters that are being given justice, and the fans are being fucking fed, unless you're a fan of Marvel's The Avengers. Let's talk about Spider-Man for a quick second. First of all, I feel like we're like literally in like a Spider-Man renaissance. Like, bro, I'm so giddy. Like as a Spider-Man fan, like I'm, and this is like a situation where I feel like there's a lot of exposure to an IP, but it's not oversaturated because it's in so many different avenues, Like you have the game, which is doing its own thing. It's in its own universe and it's kicking ass, like the Miles Morales Insomniac universe. Then you have the movies, which are like kicking ass. And then you have Miles Morales in the Sony movies, the animated, that's animated. So it's also a completely different ballpark. So this happened yesterday. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, trailer came out. And I guess it didn't show much. It kind of picks up it literally the trailer shows what happens right after the end of the first film. And then shows Spider-Man shows Miles going to 2099. And he like runs into Spider-Man 2099 and then it ends. But I guess what's the heat check for, everyone's excitement for this movie? I know Andrew, you and me are big fans of that original, and John maybe not so much from what I've gathered, but John, maybe you can start us off. What are your thoughts on quick thoughts on the original film, and what do you want out of the second one?
The original film, in my opinion, was actually like some of the best Spider-Man I've seen, actually, even though it was animated, until they brought in I like the fact that there were multiple Spider-Men and stuff.
Spider people.
Yeah, Spider people. But like it got a little too goofy for me, just slightly. But it was really good. I still really enjoyed it. And if I were to give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it like at least an 8.5 without really diving into it right now. But no, I'm really excited to see this. I'm a huge Spider-Man guy. He's always been one of my favorite superheroes in general. So I'm really excited to see what they do with Across the Spider-Verse, especially because and this was when I was like, holy shit, was at the end of the trailer when it was like part 1.
Yeah.
There's going to be two 2-hour movies to the story, and like, how are they going to like hand it off? And it'll be like probably this nice Miles Morales trilogy at the end of the day. So, and it gives me vibes that there's going to be some crossover within this and maybe they'll like bring in the fucking video game Spider-Man. I
Or
think
maybe MCU.
or the MCU stuff. Yeah. I want to see it just all clash. That'd be amazing. But I'm really excited for it. But like you said, it didn't like show a whole ton. I really like the art style. I think it looks really interesting in this one too. Like it looks very comic booky, and I like that. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. I know
What
you
about
liked the first one a lot. Like you guys say, it's like some of your probably one of your favorite animated movies of all time. So what are you guys thinking about this?
yeah, what about you, Andrew? How about you start off?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I really like the first one, and Spider-Man's like the one MCU character I actually give a shit about. So, I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping soon after or before this movie comes out that the new when is the new Spider-Man game supposed to come out?
2023.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this will be like the little like appetizer for me.
I forgot. Do you have plans to watch No Way Home? Do you think you're gonna watch that?
No, not right now, but maybe down the road. I don't really care about spoilers for
Have
it.
you
so.
seen Homecoming and No Way Home?
No, I need to
mean-
watch No Way Home.
I
I
mean-
watched Homecoming not too long ago, actually.
You mean Far From Home?
Yeah, I meant
Far
Far
from Home.
Oh
Yeah, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched
Yeah,
No
it
Way
is.
Home in a while. Yeah.
We're actually living in the Tenet timeline.
Yeah, Disney invited me for an advanced screening.
Invited ControllerCast for advanced screening of the film.
Yeah, it's been about a month since I've seen.
Yeah, I think everybody will be really shocked.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess any expectations for the story, Andrew?
I mean, I had no expectations for the first one. I mean, they're all original, so it would
Regional?
be cool.
Is that what you said?
Well, like the first one. I mean, I didn't have anything to base it off of, but
Original. I thought you said regional. I was like,
no, I said original. No, I mean, I think it would be cool if they had like a crossover with like the live action and video game one. I mean, the possibilities are really endless for what they can do in this one, based on what I saw in the first one.
yeah, that's kind of my same thing. And I was talking about it a little bit, is that I hope that there's just all the crossover in the world. Like just pull out all the stops, do. And yeah, I thought the first one was a little goofy, but people liked it. So honestly, run with that. And go
yeah, like I love the first film. Like I actually, funny enough, watched it in theaters. Because I saw like the really good reviews it was getting, and it came out during Christmas, so it was like kind of like a Christmas movie to me. And they actually gave us these like trading cards, which was crazy, from the movie.
Oh damn.
And, yeah, and I wish I'll have to send you guys a picture of it. I still have a couple, and they're awesome. It's like Miles like swinging through the city, and there's another one of like Green Goblin or whatever. But yeah, no, I'm super excited. The original is obviously one of the best Spider-Man movies, and it is probably one of my favorite animated films. Like I'd probably say like top 5, which is crazy to say for like an animated Spider-Man movie, because usually when people think of like best animated films, they're thinking of Pixar or Disney or like DreamWorks or something. But I think that just shows like this animation in Into the Spider-Verse is like so like unique and top of the line. And I'm now excited. I'm really excited for Across the Spider-Verse, because that first film is like really about him not becoming Miles Morales, but becoming Spider-Man. So like it'll be cool now. You will have a whole movie that he's Spider-Man. Good thing they didn't call this movie Spider-Man 2099, because any product with a year in its title is like cursed for fucking shit, just being shitty.
For Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Except Blade Runner. Blade
That's
Runner is
the exception.
yeah. Blade Runner is the exception, but everything else, bad. But moving on from there, let's talk about potential news. And we haven't talked about PlayStation in a while, actually. I feel like so been leaks or not leaks, but reports from Bloomberg from Jason Schreier, who's like the god tier like leaker in the gaming world. So this is like 100% true. Like he's never reported something that isn't true. That in spring of 2022, PlayStation is gonna reveal or launch their competitor to Game Pass actually. So just kind of giving a breakdown of what exactly is it like in it, just so I'm not like messing it up. So right now the code name for it is Spartacus, and there's supposed to be 3 tiers to it. I'm trying to 1 second. I'm trying to pull up something that gives me the tiers. So what their plan is, they're gonna essentially merge PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now into like one umbrella. So they're gonna essentially get rid of PlayStation Now, and there's gonna be like 3 tiers, and the first tier is gonna be oh my gosh, oh yeah, so it includes the same benefits as PlayStation Plus, which is like the free games every month, and then the second tier is going to be like PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games, like in like a like a Game Pass selection, and then the highest tier is going to have like PS1, PS2, PS3, and PSP games. I'm hoping that means like native instead of like streaming, but that's like kind of the big question mark. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Is this something that you'd be interested in jumping into? The one, I guess, thing that people point out is like the thing that Game Pass still has over this is that every Xbox exclusive comes to Game Pass day one, which I highly, highly, highly doubt is going to happen with PlayStation. But yeah, John, maybe you want to start us off with like thoughts? What are your expectations for this? Because you also have Game Pass, so you have some insight as well.
Yeah, I think that to really have it be the home run that we'd like it to be, it would need to bring those hard-hitting PS exclusives day one. Like if this eventually came around and like God of War Ragnarok was a day one title that you could play on it native, obviously like something like that couldn't stream, I would imagine. But if something like that came to it day one, then I mean, with all of the other stuff that they're already planning to do, it sounds like a home run. But again, like you said, like PS exclusives are just too damn good. They're too damn good. I don't think that, and they make a lot of money too. So I don't think that they would sacrifice those sales necessarily. But again, like I just kind of like how I was talking with Disney Plus. I don't really understand how they make so much money off of this like subscription model, because I guess someone would have to play like 3 games or less at 15 a month for like the money of it to work out, where the developer is getting $60, but I know it doesn't work that way. But besides that, I mean, I'm really excited for it. I'm not excited to potentially have to pay more. But I guess like I'll deal with it as long as it's worth it. And to be
I would
able to
assume
classic PlayStation games on it too, and PSP games, that makes me really excited.
Yeah, I think it could be a good middle point for like because I think like that first tier is pretty much where we're all at right now. Like it's just regular PlayStation Plus. And then but like I mean, if that highest tier has native PS1 through PS3 games, like if I can go on there and play like Infamous, or like go and play like I don't know, like ATV versus off road or something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
Like I probably I think I potentially would get that highest tier, but what about you, Andrew? What are your what's your interest level on this, and what are your thoughts?
I mean,
expectations?
I think it's a good competitor for Game Pass if it actually comes to like it's to be like a full strength thing where everything's coming out like day one on it. Do I think Sony will do that? Probably not. But like
Yeah.
it would be nice. It would be real nice because I think a lot of things that hold me back from playing games is just not wanting to spend $60 on them, and I think that's one thing that I'm very jealous of Game Pass for, is to pay that monthly fee and just like be able to try a game and not have to worry like, oh, I spent $60 and this game sucks ass, or like stuff like that. But I don't know. They need to do something because PlayStation Plus is pretty like a fucking poverty service compared to Game Pass right now. So
Yeah, and the new like free games for this coming month are not the best.
Yeah, it's like, well,
they haven't been
what
very
is-
good for like lately, really.
I
mean,
agree.
Knockout City was is banging, but like Hell Let Loose,
Hell Let
EA Tour,
Loose.
Well, I guess kind of same thing we did with Nintendo's expansion pass thingy. What are some I guess, what do you think the pricing will be on this? Like maybe the 3 tiers, and what would it need maybe to like what would it have to be for you guys to maybe like hop onto that highest tier? Where you get like maybe that entire classic library of PlayStation games as well, for that monthly amount. John, maybe you wanna give some price estimates?
I feel like they've got to match Game Pass. So probably 15 a month for the highest tier, but PlayStation Plus as it is already 10 a month. So they'd almost have to lower regular PlayStation Plus, or at least the monthly cost of it. Maybe the yearly cost is still 60. But they would probably have to lower the monthly cost, because I feel like something like the highest tier would probably be more of a monthly, something that people would prefer to pay for monthly rather than maybe dropping $120 or $180 for a year of it. Because it'll probably be like $180 a year or $15 a month. I don't really know. They've got to match Game Pass on the pricing at the very least. But that middle tier, that's interesting.
I think
Tiers? I think that's a little. I'll be interested to see what that middle one costs.
yeah.
Maybe that will be 15, and then the highest tier will be like a premium, like $18 a month.
Yeah. What about you, Andrew? What do you think?
I think John's pretty spot on with the pricing. I don't, and they have to make it like not too much.
So yeah,
more.
Andrew, what would you say the 3 tiers would be priced a month?
Well, I think the first tier, obviously, that's just like base PlayStation Plus. So probably just what I don't even know what PlayStation Plus is anymore. I just buy the CD keys, like 50% off shit.
Yeah. A month right now.
So probably that middle tier, probably 15. Maybe the top tier be 20 a month.
Yeah. What I think it would be.
That's pretty fair. I mean, because even if you get like, I don't know, like 10% of PlayStation Plus subscribers, like what is that, like 3 or 4 million people, and then like $240 a year. I mean, that's pretty good money. So
that's bank.
I think what it'll be is, I think if they're trying to move away from like a yearly subscription and more like month to month, I think this works out pretty well. Where the first tier, $5 a month, which is 5 times 12, $60 a month, base PlayStation Plus value. $10 a month, second tier, $15 a month, matching Game Pass, $180 a year. That's what I think it will be. But
I feel like that makes sense. The only reason I would say maybe not is just because PS Plus as it is $10.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
they would have to like bring it down. Yeah, the monthly for PlayStation Plus.
Right. But $5 a month would make sense. I mean, because then
it would match the 60 a year essentially.
Yeah. And then people probably would pay the $5 a month and not notice it, and actually give them $60 rather than purchasing a half-priced yearly membership on CD key every so often.
You think if it was 15 a month, you guys would get the highest tier?
Probably.
For 15 a month, yeah.
It's stinky and it looks terrible.
As long as you can download them locally and it's not streaming.
Yeah, same. That's the only stipulation for me as well.
There's no way I'd pay that much money to stream a fucking game, because I could do that right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I Game Pass and use my phone at that point.
Honestly, yeah,
iPad.
But I mean, we knew it was coming. There's no way that they could have let Game Pass unanswered. So it's kind of like, let's see where it goes from here. All right. So moving on from there, final story, and this has kind of been an ongoing story. We've talked about it before. I want to circle back around to because we didn't talk about it last week when we came back. Was just how shitty of a company Activision is. There's just been so many developments since not our last episode, but like the episode that we made in like for the Dune episode. Specifically, just to give a rundown, like it came out that Bobby Kotick, the devil himself, like knew
picture pulled up of him like with horns and fire behind him.
Yeah, literally, this guy knew about all of the sexual harassment and all the discriminatory, messed up like shit that happened at the company. There was like leaks of him like saying that he would literally like have an employee murdered and all this shit. And Disney or not Disney, Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox have all come out and been like, yeah, we do not condone any of this. This is kind of like fucked up. But Activision is like, yeah, we ain't letting this dude go. So I don't know. What do you guys think this says about I don't know, corporate America? And also like, what do you think is something that actionable that all three of the big companies can do against Activision? Obviously, I would say probably stop selling their games. But I don't know if they would go to that point. What are your guys' thoughts on all this? Andrew, you want to start off?
Activision obviously holds a shit ton of weight in the industry, so I don't see how like any of these companies could drop them or like stop putting their games on their consoles. Nintendo would have an easier time doing it, obviously, just because it's nobody gives a shit about third party on Nintendo. But like Sony and Xbox and Microsoft would have a very difficult time booting that shit off of their platform, especially with how big Warzone is. Warzone like probably generates buku bucks for them, like just off of like microtransactions and shit. Even though they probably get a small cut of it, like that small cut's probably huge, like compared to other games. So
what do you think of
I kind of wish they would drop them, just because this is like some super scummy shit.
But yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think about like Bobby Kotick's stuff and how the board is pretty much not reacted to any of it?
Well, didn't he say something? He's like, if it doesn't improve, I'll just leave. Like, okay, like you should just leave anyways. You fuck. Like,
any reasonable CEO or board, and if you're that high up in the company, any reasonable person after all of this stuff would come out would just fucking resign. Like, what is going on over there? I don't get it. There's no way he's like that good of a leader. He must be giving favors like crazy to.
Yeah, he must have some dirt on the board, dude.
That too. That
also,
too.
Andrew, didn't you say he was in Epstein's ledger?
Yes, he was allegedly. I have not researched that, but I saw that he was. I cannot confirm or deny if that's valid or
not. Yeah, to me it just says something about the state of some of these like big corporations, where it's like you have someone who's blatantly crossed so many ethical boundaries, and they will not let him go for it's like what's the reason? You know what I mean? Like, because
I'm trying to figure out.
Like, do you really think that him staying in the company is going to stop Call of Duty from pumping out money every year? Like, people who want to buy Call of Duty every year, they're going to buy it no matter who's the CEO.
Yeah, dude, there's always going to be a plentiful supply of 13-year-olds to purchase that game.
Literally. Like, yeah. So.
And it's not like he's
developing the game
and making these games. Like, it's not going to change the quality of the games. If anything, getting a new CEO in there is going to make the quality of the games even better.
Yeah, John, what do you think about like what the corporate reaction to this?
I think it's confusing, to say the least. Like, the Activision response and the board of directors response is very confusing. Nintendo's response, and some of these other companies, I think it's too little too late, in my opinion. I feel like they really need to like do something about this, because now that this is coming out of like about Activision, there's no way that they're the only ones. I almost start to wonder like
Yeah.
if the other game companies are very similar in this regard. And I don't know, it's just sad, but I feel like Nintendo and PlayStation and Microsoft need to like straight up just be like, all right, well, until y'all make a change, the next Call of Duty game is not going to be on our consoles. It'll just
Yeah.
PC, whatever, Steam, whatever. But I think they
And
need
it's
to like legit make a statement. And I think the best way to make a statement is be like, all right, well, if y'all don't make a change, then none of your games are coming to our consoles going forward.
yeah, and I think it's like such a shitty situation because there's so many like hardworking developers that you buying their game, like that's kind of like, it's like, they didn't do anything wrong. They're just hardworking people. But it's also like, so it's like they're getting punished and they might get laid off and things like that. But it's like, it's just messed up because it's like that's exactly like if kind of what you're saying, John, like they have to do something actionable, because if they don't, people are going to forget about this in like 6 months, and Modern Warfare 2 is going to come out next year and everyone's going to be on the hype train, and everyone's going to forget about this. And they can, it's like, bro, if PlayStation can take off Cyberpunk off of their store for 6 months,
take off Vanguard.
Yeah, like if they can do it. Cyberpunk was the biggest launch of like besides like probably Red Dead Redemption 2, was probably like the biggest video game release of the past generation, and they removed it from their store.
And CD Projekt Red did not have this shit coming out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand where the hesitation is. And that's kind of why I'm like, too little, too late. Like, take the fucking games off your stores, at least digitally. You can't get them all off the shelves necessarily, but like PlayStation, at least, that'd be really cool to see them just drop Vanguard off their PlayStation store.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably some sort of back end stuff like contracts and things like that, because how like whenever you see anything for Call of Duty, it's PlayStation. Like it's like,
that's true.
I'm kind of curious what the money is behind it and how the contracts and negotiations is stopping them potentially. I'm not sure, but we'll keep you updated for that. But Activision continues to suck at, or not Activision, but Bobby Kotick specifically, and some of the higher ups can eat a dick. But that's all we have for the current events. And since it's coming to the end of the year, almost award season, thought we'd revisit one of the best, or at least in my opinion, one of the best, but one of the more prominent best picture winners of the past few years, and that is Parasite. So let's go on and get into it. All right, so as mentioned just a second ago, we are talking about the 2019 best picture winner today, Parasite by Bong Joon-ho. So this movie was kind of a phenomenon when it came out. I think it's just kind of a like a testament to how popular it was and how well received it was, that it's a Korean film, and it's the first foreign language film to ever win Best Picture. But I guess we could really just start off with our general thoughts right away and what our expectations were going into it. So I'll start off. I heard good things about this film. I saw it in theaters back when it originally came out. And I had, pretty high expectations. One, because I was hearing obviously a lot of good things. I do have exposure to Korean cinema because of my father. He's really big into like Asian cinema. There's another actually Bong Joon-ho movie that me and my family were really into. It came out in 2006. It was called The Host. And it's like, it's really, really, that movie is fantastic.
I've never seen it, but
yeah, it's on Netflix, I think. I know it's on Hulu because I saw it was on Hulu yesterday. But really, so I had expectations, and honestly, general thoughts, I was honestly very, very satisfied with this film. Very satisfied. I absolutely love this film. I think it's an instant classic, honestly. And I think it's one of the best. I think it is the best Best Picture winner of probably the past 10 years. I don't think the Oscars usually get it right for the Best Picture winner. But I thought this one they got it right, and like they no doubt. People thought it was probably going to go to like 1917 that year. I remember actually, because that was like an American or like an English language film. But no, I think they made the right call with that one. But so I absolutely love everything about this film, and I think it is fantastically made. There's a lot of like subtle details and a lot of foreshadowing that's not obvious but smartly done. I think it's a simple story done really well, and I think it's kind of like quintessential cinema, just like
Quintessential.
yeah,
Arsenal's
just like
quintessential man.
Back to the Future.
yeah. No, I was just thinking. It's kind of giving me like a little bit of like Back to the Future like vibes or aura, where it's just like it felt like this is just like cinema, done right. It's a simple story, executed fantastically. And yeah, I'm obviously singing this film's praises, but what about you guys? I guess expectations going into the movie, and what are your general thoughts after those expectations? John, maybe you wanna start? Or Andrew, Andrew, go in the order that we saw the films, I guess.
Yeah, I had never seen any of the Bong Hive's works. I had just seen that it won Best Picture, and the cover art looked cool, so I was like, you know what, I might as well give this movie a try. And I watched it with you and Jordan and Parker and Blake. I think the first time we ever watched it. It was great the first time, and watching it the second time was even better. And but general thoughts going into it, I didn't know anything what to expect on it. I just knew it won. I literally had zero background on Korean anything. I had never seen a Korean movie. I had no idea what the movie was even about, just that it won Best Picture. So I was like, shit, let's pony up and give her a try.
What were your thoughts on the film?
I think it's a fantastic film, and I think it is one that it lives on in cinema history and probably will forever. And it actually led me to watch Snowpiercer, which is another movie that he created, and it was pretty good. They actually turned it into a TV series on TNT or TBS or some stupid network like that. But Snowpiercer, the movie, is really good. Yeah, they're on the train, and it's like the Earth is like too frozen or something, so like all life is sustained on that one train.
Yeah.
He does make a lot of dystopian movies,
class-based films.
Yeah, class-based films, which is cool because not very many directors, if any, do that. So,
but is that movie English language?
No, it's Korean. I watched it with subtitles.
Oh, isn't Chris Evans in that movie though?
Is it English? I don't think it's an English movie.
Oh, I swear Chris Evans was like the main the guy who was like Captain America, right? Maybe.
Let me see.
We're finding out right now.
Yeah, Chris Evans is in it, but I don't think it's an English language movie.
Damn, Chris Evans was speaking Korean.
I don't know. Never mind. Yeah, never mind. It was his English language debut. 85% of the film is in English. I thought it was in Korean.
Maybe you did watch it in Korean.
Yeah, maybe I did on accident. Oops.
Well,
See,
what
good
about
movie,
you?
though.
Yeah. What about you, John? This was your first time watching it this past week. Yeah. What were your expectations coming into it? And I guess John, what are your general thoughts on the film?
So I know that you guys have talked about this movie a decent amount, actually, even before we did the pod. So I had really high expectations because I know that you guys sing this and anytime we really talk about like really great movies, this comes up in conversation. So I had really, really high expectations. It's kind of funny. Casey didn't really enjoy it, and I'm not sure why. I think maybe it's like the subject matter and how it feels kind of hopeless at times, but like I don't really know exactly why she didn't like it, but I loved it. It was interesting, and I thought that the like switch in the middle was a
Mhm.
lot. It was
Yeah.
very unexpected. Like halfway through the movie, I thought I knew where it was going, and then not quite. Not quite. Um, but and it's funny, like I think I even said this to you, Ursula, but I thought for some reason it was a ghost movie. And it seemed like, when you see like those one word reviews from like maybe Rolling Stone or whatever, where it's like terrifying, or like there was literally one that said terrifying for this. And I didn't really get that vibe. It was definitely anxiety inducing at times. But it was thrilling, I will say, not terrifying. uh, but no, I really liked it. Like I said, I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was a fucking ghost movie, like a spooky ghost conjuring ass movie, but in Korean. And it was kind of nice actually watching like Squid Game beforehand, because I feel like it kind of mirrored some themes. So
Yeah.
it was nice, and I like that we're talking about it now, because we just talked about Squid Game and it does kind of have some similarities to that. And I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed the messages behind Squid Game too. So I loved
Yeah,
it.
it's funny because I remember before we even decided to like have this be the episode. You mentioned you're like, oh yeah, it's like a ghost movie, right? And like like I remember I was like, well, it's not a ghost movie, but I mean, some of the characters think there's a ghost in the house. Like, so I was like, it's kind of funny he thinks that because it's like, like you're not like totally off, but
Right.
like there's
Not a
something in the house.
traditional sense, but like that's a good portion, or like it's prevalent in a way. But yeah, I'm
But like,
glad it wasn't a ghost movie. I'm glad with what I saw.
yeah, yeah. So I guess like kind of like you're talking about the switch at the halfway point. I think it's kind of worth like I feel like this film can really be split into like two separate halves. The first half of the story, the first half of this film is really like, um, okay, there's this rich family and there's this poor family, and you know, the second, Kevin and Jessica, but like the second, Kevin gets into the house and he's like, oh, like, I know someone that could, be good for your daughter or not for your son, and then brings his sister. It's like, okay, where the plot of the first act is, like they're trying to get everyone into the house, and really like, uh that first half of that film is it almost feels more like a black comedy. Like it's got kind of like comedic undertones kind of throughout that first half of the film.
It does actually, yeah.
But I guess like John, I kind of like ride your because you just saw it like this is your first time. I kind of want to ride your experience watching the film as like a discussion point. Once you started watching the film, what were kind of like your expectations through that first half, like what the plot was going to be? Because I think we can all agree we didn't expect it to make that switch at the halfway point. But where did what were your expectations once you started watching the film itself? Like what it would be throughout, if that makes sense.
Well, it was funny. One of the main things that I noticed, like from the get-go, was that there were obvious like hints at certain things, and there were like obvious um like there were things that were like scenes and stuff that were being shown that were definitely metaphors, I feel like, for certain things. Like the guy pissing on the sidewalk, I was like, okay, this has got to be a metaphor for something. And it was really apparent throughout that there was a lot of stuff like that, and a lot of hidden meanings and stuff. And like when the parasite spray, it's funny, like the parasite
Yeah.
thing was being um, shot through the house. Like anytime there was any slow motion, I was like, I need to like kind of figure out like where is this going and how is this going to play into the story and what it's trying to tell. But like as it started shaping up, I thought it was going to be very simple, like especially when Kevin, gets the opportunity to be a tutor, an underage tutor, for a rich family. I was like, okay, like maybe this is gonna be like some weird love story. Maybe this guy's gonna come back and see that Kevin and Jessica
Oh no, Jessica's his sister.
Oh shoot. Okay. What was the girl's name? Did she have like an English name? I can't remember.
No, I remember the son's name is The Song.
Yeah, just that's really easy.
But let's just say the rich daughter.
But I kind of thought that the relationship between them would be kind of the focal point. And then as it started going along, I was like, oh, okay. So like what's going on is that this family is trying to basically just all be kind of thievery, like be thieves and like be very clever and like get into the house, and everyone's gonna have their own job, and they're gonna end up, you know, making enough money to move out, and it's gonna be like somewhat of a happy story, but
definitely not that.
definitely not that at all. It's funny because I was surprised at how it did end. Like the ending didn't, like, I didn't expect the ending either. I thought that it was going to end prior to when it did and be a little more bleak. But it wasn't like a totally unhappy ending. But yeah, once it makes the switch halfway through, it starts to feel more like a suspense thriller kind of movie.
Yeah.
But at first, yeah, it's funny that you say it's like almost like a Family Matters, like black comedy. It was really weird. And like the first half, I was kind of like almost getting to the point where I was like, I don't know if I like where this is going. And then the switch happens at like the perfect time, and I'm like, okay, like I'm on the edge of my seat now.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy, honestly. Like, it's just really well done, and it is such a simple story, but it's so well done. And I don't know.
What about you, Andrew? Like, kind of same question. Like in that first half, where did you see the story going? Like, kind of, John thought it would kind of be more of like that kind of throughout the whole film, but you know, where did you see the trajectory of the film going? Because for me, I was like, oh, yeah, go on.
I had the same kind of as John, where I thought it was going to be like, oh, you know, they make enough to like make it out and become one of these families that, you know, is hiring, you know, all the, like, they're the ones that have the parasites coming to them. But like, but which, like, I kind of liked how at the end of the movie, there was kind of a hint that like the boy wants that to happen now, because like the end of the movie, when he's writing the letter to his dad, it kind of like shows like what could happen in the future. Like the first time I watched it, I thought, I was like, damn, like he actually made it. And then I realized it was just like, you know, like kind of just like an imagination while I was writing that final letter. But I mean, I definitely didn't expect it to turn the way it did. You know, when the family goes on the camping trip, and then just like all hell, just like everything just hits the fan there. I did not expect that, but it made it more of like more of a thriller type movie, not like a scary thriller, but like I was like, Jesus, like this, something like this had, like during that whole thing when the old housekeeper and her husband came up and everything, and they were like in the living room hiding, and or at first they were like, she was recording them, and then the family came back, and that was just like the most stressful shit ever. I was like, okay, something shit's got to happen.
Like polar, like the two halves of the movie are like polar opposites, like the rich and poor. Maybe it's, I don't know.
And like just kind of, so like when I was watching the movie, I was like, you know, I was like, okay, I know the general tension of the film is, okay, they're trying to set everything up, they're trying to get everyone into the house, and then the general tension is going to probably be, okay, they got to make sure they don't get caught. But I was like, it's like, I feel like that's not enough, you know, like when I was originally watching the movie, like, you know, once they're set up, they just have to not be stupid about it. But then, yeah, like, and then it's like, I was like, there's something. I was like, I feel like there's something that's like gonna happen. There's got to be some like inciting incident essentially, and that's exactly what happens. I mean, like, I when I was like, when she like rings the doorbell and they're like, who is it? And she's there. I was like, oh shit, like, okay, like maybe she's gonna like expose them. And I mean, she tries to, but like, I was like, okay, where is this going? Like, what's happening here? And then like it already it has the movie isn't a horror film, but it has like its creepy like undertones. Like, like when she walks in the house and she's like, oh, what are you getting from the basement? And she's like, you wanna come down with me or whatever? And she's just like smiling, like looking back, and then just disappears into the darkness. Like, I was like, bro, is this about to be like a horror? Like, I was like, this is about to be a horror film, isn't it?
Like there's some monster in the basement.
Yeah, and then she goes down and like she's like pushing against the wall. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this? This like some like exorcism shit, dude. Like,
Literally.
Yeah.
On the wall.
Yeah, she's like pushing up against the wall, and then like I love the shot where she's like she opens the bunker door or whatever, and there's just like she the mom of the family, like, it's like following her, and it's just like this long shot of like her like going through the hallways down the stairs. Because I was just like, when I was watching in theaters, I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is about to happen? like, there's that fucking underground fucking bunker underneath this house. What the fuck? Like, it just completely catches you off guard. And I kind of like that it doesn't go like supernatural with it or anything spooky. Like, it makes it a spooky situation out of something that's like kind of believable
and tame.
Yeah, it's like relatively tame situation. It's just a dude living underneath their house because he's running away from loan sharks, but it's still like a really like creepy situation. So I guess talking about that turn, what are your guys' thoughts on that turn?
Well,
Andrew? Or anyone, I guess, really.
Well, I was gonna say, I thought that once she started to record them and stuff, like, I thought that was gonna be how it went. And she was gonna, report to the Park family, like, okay, these people are all a family, and they're all messing around in your house, and they're just these poor people that are trying to take advantage of you. And I thought that's how it was gonna go, but it kept surprising me in the second half. Like,
yeah, the second half is so.
But like, even throughout that second half, like, you still don't know where it's going, because it totally goes crazy. Like, everything that happens from then on is like unexpected and surprising, and it's super thrilling in that way. And I love like the switch, and I love the second half of this film, because it feels a lot more like something that like I enjoy watching. I like watching suspenseful, thrilling stuff, and this was definitely it. Like, it was just weird that it makes you like it brings you along for this ride, but then it just keeps switching things up. And I don't think any of us expected like the ending, because once the old servant, I thought she was gonna die when she got pushed down the stairs. Nope, she did not die, but then she did, I'm pretty sure, end up dying from a concussion event.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then her husband was tied up. Somehow he got untied, and then he attacks Kevin, of all people. Like, it's just bonkers the way that everything goes.
And in the theater, that scene where the mom pushes the servant, I guess, the lack of better word, down the stairs. When she kicks her back down the stairs and she like hits the wall.
I gasped.
Dude, it wasn't that loud on Hulu. But dude, when I watched that in theaters, when she hit that wall, it was like loud. It was like, like everyone in the theater was like, whoa, like everyone would like gasp, because it was a loud thunk. Yeah, I was like, holy shit, that bitch is dead.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, they murdered someone. So now that's
now
it's gonna go that direction, and how are they gonna hide it? And it was kind of like that, but that wasn't even the focus of what was going on necessarily, not completely.
And the craziest part of like all this crazy shit that goes down in the second half of the film happens in the span of like 24 hours, not even like 12 hours. Like,
yeah, because they come back from the camping trip and immediately start planning they like party, like they get together thing.
mhm.
And then like the song, like he has his camp out in the back, and
And then they fuck.
I thought he was like exiting the house, and like even when he notices that all of the people that are in the house, the Kim family, he's like, these guys all smell the same. And then like Mr. Parks starts catching on to that too. I mean,
One thing I really like about the rich family is that they're not stupid. Like they try to make their own deductions about what's going on, and like they, they're not just like completely like dumb. Maybe the mom is a little, but like
yeah, the Park family.
yeah, the Park family. But like everyone besides maybe the mom, and I think they use the poorer family. Like they use the mom as kind of a way to use for all of it. They use her as like a base to jump off of to like manipulate the family.
And it was funny because that was one of my like, if I had a minor complaint about the movie, I thought it was that the mom in the Park family was just a little too, it was a little too convenient how gullible she was.
Mhm.
But like
Yeah.
the Kim family was really smart about it though.
Mhm.
They were really smart about what they did.
And what is it like?
Calculated.
Yeah, exactly.
Jessica too. Jessica is smart as hell.
Yeah, and they're like it's so like funny because the poorer family, they're like finessing the shit out of these people. They're straight up scammers, but you're still kind of like on their side to some extent, which is funny because it's like really the rich family are the victims.
They are.
But I guess it's a question worth asking because it's supposed to be kind of it's not supposed to be straightforward, or like it's supposed to be open to interpretation. But who do you guys think the type, and the director, as you said, is supposed to be open to interpretation, but who do you think that the title is referring to?
Well, I mean, I feel like it refers to a couple of things potentially. Like the first thing that does come to mind, and I think this is what most people would think, is that the Kim family are the parasites, and that they're infiltrating, they're scheming, and they scam their way into infiltrating the Park family house. And it's just, I feel like that's like the most obvious one, is that they're the parasites and that they get in and they're trying to expand from the inside. But I mean, you could almost argue too that maybe the rich family is like parasites because they're I mean, they just like, they take advantage of these poor people, and they don't give them really much at all in terms of income, or not enough. I mean, to like point that out, like the old servant, his or her husband is living in the basement. So like if they had enough money from the Park family to pay off those loan sharks, then it's almost like the rich in general, not just the Park family, but like the rich in general are parasites, in that they're taking all the wealth and there's just not much left for the little guy.
Yeah.
But the first and the most obvious, and this is what I got, was that the Kim family was being parasites by expanding themselves from the inside out and trying to take everything, really. Trying to take
I think you hit it right on the nose with like those descriptions of it. Like I think also like I think someone said it's also like they're being parasitic of like the Park families being parasitic of like the Kim family off of like basic knowledge of like running a house and things like that. Like they're using their skills to just like maintain everyday life. So that's like also an interpretation of it. But what about you, Andrew?
I feel like it extends to like all three of the families in it, because I mean, like you said, John, the Kim family obviously are parasites off of the Park family, and then the Park family are parasites off of Kim family, because obviously they probably don't get paid a whole lot as much as they should probably. But then the obviously the guy, I don't know what the family's name is that's underground, but or if they even had one in the movie. But then that family is a parasite off of the Kim family as well, which kind of is like a poor versus rich thing, where then it just boils down to the poor people and the rich people are parasites of each other. They kind of have to coexist within the same realm, I guess, to make everything work.
Symbiotic.
But, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I also think there's like another one you could kind of make a connection to is like the Kim family is like parasites of the other like poor people, because I'd assume like all the workers that were there before were probably not wealthy either. They were probably in the same boat where they just look like they were of higher class because they work for the Park family, and they like, you know, the driver wears a suit, and you know the maid wears like a traditional maid's outfit. But like, I mean, I assume if the old maid is very poor, that probably that driver when he was working was probably not getting paid very much, and he's probably poor as well.
Do you think there's anyone like really in the right or anyone like truly in the wrong here, or like who do you see yourself siding with at the end of the day? Everyone in this fucked up tale.
Well, because like you want to think the Kim family is in the wrong, but like I mean, if you think about it, like if somebody does their job right, it shouldn't really matter if they're all part of the same family. And that was kind of my thought process. Was like the rich people would be like, you know, oh, like I thought they would like find out they were all in the same family, and then be like, well, you do your job, so like, you know, who really cares?
Like who gets
I,
a
yeah, I think it's another like kind of like tone in the movie is like certain things outside of your actual work abilities are perceived as being detrimental to your work. So not because in the movie it's not like explicit, but it kind of gives a tone that like, you know, like if you are trying to get a job and you're poor, people might see your status as a reason to not give you a job, even though your abilities are fine. So I thought like in the movie that they would find out like, oh, they're all part of this like impoverished family, and then be like, oh, well, you know, you do your job right. But obviously that doesn't happen. But that's kind of like a tone that I got from it. There's a lot of like just very strung out tones and theories you could kind of pull from this movie, just because there's so many different ones that are
And I
presented
think it
throughout the
and I
movie.
think it presents a lot of like interesting ideas about like society in very like subtle ways. Like even just like the idea of them getting the job to begin with, right? Like think about it. Like they say there's like thousands of like applicants, you know, they say there's so many college graduates that are trying to just be like a fucking bartender, you know, but like you're able to be this tutor just off of a connection, and like he didn't even go to college, you know, like because it's just completely worthless. Like even they don't care about that at the end of the day. Like she even tells him like I don't care about the paperwork, or I don't care about this, like the recommendation is enough.
I didn't
You
think of
know,
it like that, but that's
like
true.
like there's a lot of
Yeah.
what'd you say?
It's like who you know, not necessarily what you know.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
shows how important like the word of mouth is compared to like your actual qualifications.
yeah, raw experience. Like literally, like Jessica is like, yeah, I just Googled this shit and made it up along the way for the art therapy, you know? But
Literally.
like it works because it's all in this belt of trust, as she says, with the family. And that's like how a lot of things work in the real world, where it's just like a lot of like who you know. You know, will get you your foot in the door in the right places. It's like who you can talk to, who you do or don't know. It's kind of funny how many things are controlled by that, you know, at the end of the day, instead of just like raw value of somebody.
The
But
belt of
then
faith.
yes, the belt of fate. One of my favorite scenes though is like when they have them like sitting in the living room and they got their hands up, and like, you know, they're reminiscing about when they would like dance like, when the old owner moved and they're like dancing in the empty living room. And then there's like a shot of them like sitting in that living room in daytime, but they look off to the left during that shot. And then they're getting like ambushed by them during that present time. Like, it's hard to describe the shot, but it's a really cool one. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but
I like when they were drinking right before the like switch.
no. Like when the people from underground, when they're like sitting there with like the text message and they're like, oh yeah, we can like screw these people over any minute. It's like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
And then they're like reminiscing about their day when they used to be at this house and they were like dancing around in the living room. Do you remember that part?
Oh yeah. Duh.
Yeah. And then just after that, it just cuts to them getting ambushed, and then he fucks them up with the pear. That was the only thing that I thought was a little silly. Like
it was for a couple of goofy moments, I feel like.
Yeah, like the pear, like sprinkling the pear on her face, and she's like having
peach.
like
There's a peach.
Oh yeah, peach. Why did I say pear?
Peach, the girl was always like, oh, like now that we have a new housekeeper, we can have peaches finally.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good foreshadowing in this film too. Like when they're trying to like scheme up the plan, they're eating at a pizza place and they squirt that red sauce like onto the pizza, like a few moments before they actually use that sauce later on. Like there's a point where right after they fire her, the maid, right? I don't know what I'm saying, sorry, the maid, that they're like, yeah, the only problem with her was that she ate so much. She like ate for two people, and it's just like,
oh, yeah. Catch that.
I didn't even realize that when I was watching it.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. That's amazing.
Yeah. There's just like a lot of good, like details, like just setting things up, like, for the future, essentially later on in the film. But
let's give this another watch soon.
But and then also I guess we could kind of get into like what happens near the end of the film. I guess shit goes 0 to 100 real quick, because it's like, after first of all their house floods. We didn't even mention that, which is like also another kind of like thing about like there's a lot of visual representation I've noticed in this film. I watched this film like 5 or 6 times already. And there's a lot of like visual metaphors going on. Like one thing is, I don't know if you ever noticed, but when they're looking in the glass, right? You know how the house, like the top of the house is like a complete glass wall essentially, and they can like look into the yard from it.
Right.
Anytime they had any of the poor people and the rich people, like the maid, say, or the like mom, like the Park family mom, there's always this glass line. There's always this line between the characters, because it's always showing this divide between, the poor and the rich, essentially.
God damn, Marcel, how do you even? I didn't even realize that shit.
Yeah, I did not catch that. I mean, I only seen it once, but still.
It's like there's also like visual representation in like, the rich people. They live at the top of the city. Every time they go up to them, they're always moving upwards, up this hill. And then, the poor people, they live at the bottom of the city. Whenever they go home, they're always going back down to the bottom. Like it's just like, another visual representation. Even now, speaking with the rain, their house fucking drowns, from the rain. But the next morning, the mom is like, the rain was like a blessing. The rain, we much needed rain,
It was like beautiful and whatever.
Yeah. But for them, it literally destroyed their lives, But for the rich people, it's like, oh, rain was beautiful. Like, but I guess kind of going in.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of like small things like that I've noticed from multiple watches. But I guess kind of going into the end of the movie, did not see that one coming, but where the way that party goes. So I guess there's a few things that are worth discussing, but I guess, John, I'll start off with you because you just saw it. What are your thoughts about how the whole party goes down?
Well,
there's a few things to unpack there.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with, the husband of the old maid coming up out of the basement, and
after he fucks up Kevin.
But Kevin goes down right doesn't he like have the intention of killing that dude? Because he brings the rock down.
I almost
It's
think he.
what were you?
Yeah, I feel like it's him just checking up on him. I don't even know. Like, I was thinking maybe he's giving him food, but I was thinking maybe he's checking up on him, or maybe he was gonna kill him. I don't know. It's a little more. It's a little open to
Because everyone had
interpretation.
like plan, and they even said like, oh, we're all kind of operating off of our own plan now. Like we don't have a cohesive plan because things have kind of blown up. But yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
that was actually I want to say that was my favorite line in the movie. When they're sitting in the homeless shelter, he's like, "Dad, like, what's the plan?" And he's like, you know what the best plan is?
yeah,
No plan. Like,
there's a plan and something goes wrong, then you're super upset. But if you don't have a plan, there's no reason to get upset.
yeah, kind of mirroring the Dark Knight with the Joker. It's
Yeah,
all part of the plan.
man, that's so crazy. But yeah, there's
But
a lot
go
of good
on.
lines. But yeah, I mean, it starts off with the husband of the old maid coming up and kicking Kevin's ass, and we think he died,
Dead. Yeah, I thought he was dead.
smashed with a boulder twice, but lo and behold, he survives, which is insane. I don't believe that, but um, that's crazy. And then yeah, it's just like very creepy that the way that the the husband dude he walks out, grabs a knife, and then he runs out to the party, and everyone's starting to freak out, like who the hell is this guy? And he stabs Jessica right away, and then
The kid
Mr.
has a seizure.
Oh, does he have a seizure?
Yeah, remember how they're talking about like when he originally saw the kid, the kid had a seizure because he
Yeah.
thought there was a ghost in the house.
And the kid has a seizure because he sees this ghost.
Yeah,
Uh,
so when he sees the guy again at the party, the kid seizes out.
exactly. Yep. So that happens. And then the parents are like, what the hell's going on? And then like I think it's the new servant or the mom of the Kim family that like ends up actually stopping the old servant's husband from
Yeah,
killing.
she stabs him with a skewer or meat skewer.
Yeah, yeah. And then fucking Mr. Kim kills the dad of the Park family. And I'm like, that I didn't quite get the motive behind. Not completely. I'm
Well,
like,
he gets like super pissed off about like how the rich people like react to how poor people
He smells.
smell. Because
yeah,
like he like walked over by the dead guy because I was his keys under the old
Yeah,
servant's
yeah,
husband,
yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, oh my god, this
yeah,
motherfucker stinks because he hasn't showered in fucking however long. And then like the dad just like, I don't know why the dad just gets so set off by people like not liking people stinking like ass, but like whatever.
I think it was
Everybody's
kind of
got a
like a
motive.
more than that.
yeah. I think it was kind of like you slowly see that the dad is like starting to get fed up. You know, like with these people, like the smell. First of all, like like you know how we're talking about the rain. You know, like and also the other thing I think that adds to it is like when she's sitting in the car, right, getting driven by Mr. Kim. She's talking about first of all how good the rain was. Which first of all, this dude's house got blown away. She's got her feet literally. She's has her shoes off, has her feet like right next to Kim's face, like head. Uh, so and then she's like talking about how it smells and like he already heard this a few times, huh?
And then she like rolls down the window.
Yeah, and he already mentioned before how he smell like, and it's not even a smell; it's like the subway. They're like talking down about how like public transport smells, and then you know, like even then, like right before the party happens, he's like, "Mr. Kim, you're getting paid extra. Think of this as like your work," you know, like down talking him essentially. And I could see it like I like that's probably like I know some people probably have issue with it. Like, why does he stab the dad? I kind of view it as like it's just probably like human nature. Like he just broke. Like he probably was it's probably such a crazy situation and dude just broke.
Yeah, took the craziness as an opportunity to get back at his oppressor, essentially.
Yeah. And like kind of like seeing it like as like, you know, this whole crazy shit's going down. My daughter's dying in my hands. And like, you see this dude, like,
Life's over, probably in his eyes.
yeah, and it's like probably, you know, the first thing you see this dude do is like cover his nose and was like, oh, this dude stinks. Like it probably, you know, just kind of like
This guy
straw that broke the
stinks.
camel's back.
Yeah, like he didn't even care that this guy just like killed his daughter. He was like, ooh.
Yeah.
He was
And like
"Ooh,
I've talked to my
stinky."
dad about that scene, and my dad has kind of like been also kind of defensive of Mr. Park, because he's like, well, what do you expect? Because like they talk about earlier in the scene, like if you don't get a seizing like individual to like a hospital in 15 minutes, they could like die. So he's just trying to get his son to the hospital. So it's just like, you know, there's no like right or wrong necessarily in that situation. And I mean, I guess there is wrong. Like maybe, you know, you probably shouldn't have stabbed Mr. Park and killed him, but like because even he realizes afterwards, like the second he stabs him, you can see on Mr. Kim's face, he's like, oh fuck, like I just let my emotions get like the best of me and I just killed this dude.
I would have
Like you
almost
can
see a good smack instead.
yeah, like you can see he just like the look on his face, you can tell he like regrets the shit out of it. Like the second he does it too. And then obviously it just goes to shit. Everyone's and this is the craziest part to me is that Kevin lives and Jessica dies. I was like so thrown off by that.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, yeah, with the fact that Kevin lived after getting his head smashed in by a boulder,
Yeah.
and then you know Jessica gets stabbed in the heart, and that was enough to do it. But like, people come back from crazy in this movie. People come back from these crazy like almost death scenes, but Jessica just for whatever reason they decided to keep her dead. But I think it was because of like Mr. Kim and how he ended up stabbing Mr. Park. I think that has a lot to do with why they like decided to actually have Jessica die, because there's something about like a father and daughter and their
Mhm.
relationships. So
Yeah.
also
And
tied to how it went
I'll,
down.
I'll just say this, and maybe you can view it as hyperbolic, uh, but I stand by this. I think the last like 15 minutes of this film, probably like from the party up until the credits roll, are like fucking like masterful. Like especially like even the sequence like after the party ends, like where it picks back up from like when he's in the hospital and he's narrating it, he's like, and he just
Right.
keeps laughing at everything.
I thought it was going to end before that, actually, as when I first watched it just now, like yesterday. I thought it was going to end right there, but then it keeps going, and it's like it would have been a lot more bleak of an ending if it had ended right there, you know, after the party and stuff.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't even know what about it. Like just the fact that he just like laughs at everything now. Like even he's like looking, it's like fucked up. He's looking at his sister's like memorial photo and he's just laughing, and like it just no, I absolutely I think like the last like 10, 15 minutes of this movie are like some of my favorite. It's like one of my favorite endings of like a movie ever. Like probably like top 10, top 5 in my opinion. Like pretty much seeing from that like the progression of it. First of all, how the party ends, and it's all like holy shit, it's fucked up. But then you're like, holy shit, Kevin is still alive, but his like he's fucked up now. Like he's laughing at everything, and you know like their life is just in shambles. But then he goes and he goes up to the mountains and sees the Morse code, and then you see it from the dad's perspective that he's living in the basement now, and he's like, you know, and it's so smart because no, like there's all this setting up, you know, throughout the whole film. Like when the old maid comes to the house, she said how she cuts the CCTV, like she cuts the cameras.
Right, and that's
So,
prevalent like multiple times.
yeah, and then that's what lets him sneak into the house, you know, at the end of the movie, and no one knows about literally nobody knows about that basement except that family. So it makes sense how he can hide and get away. And then you know it shows from his perspective now he's in the position of that old family, and then it cuts back to, you know, Kevin again at the end, and he's like, I'm gonna uh, you know, make money, and you know, like I'm gonna get to a point where I buy that house, and all you have to do is just walk outside, you know, and you'll be home. Uh, but then like the perfect ending, the perfect finale is like, but until then, you know, just like I'll see you then or whatever. And it's just the final shot of like him just sitting there like depressed as fuck, like the ending shot is in the exact same position as the starting shot of the film. So it's just like it's mirroring the start of the film. There's a lot of mirrors in this film, or mirroring things.
Like a loop.
But yeah, it's a loop essentially. But and they're kind of just back to where they were at the beginning. But no, and I like, and just like that final scene, that final line I love so much, where it's just like, up until then, like, just farewell. Like, that's my dream. Like, that's my hypothetical happy ending. But like right now, my situation is just shit, essentially. And I love that ending. But I guess, what are your guys' thoughts on the ending? I just kind of raved about it, but
I thought it was just unexpected, like, because like I said, I thought it was going to end very bleakly with the end of the party, and it's still kind of a bleak ending. But it's happy in the sense that at the very end, Mr. Kim is technically free. But also, Jessica had passed, and is he really free? Like, not really. And I don't know. I mean, I thought it was really good. I'm still processing it. I'd like to get a second watch in too, just to like really grasp everything. But I really enjoyed it, and I thought that if it would have ended at just the party, like I was kind of expecting, it would have been not as good, a lot more confusing. But and yeah, the thing with Kevin, like, acting kind of like a Joker at the end was, or like Two-Face almost. It almost reminded me of The Dark Knight a little bit. But I really liked it. And the movie in general is fantastic. Like, everything was like very surprising, but super well done. It's like, it's simple, yet it surprises you. And it's just all so well done. And I love like the symbolism throughout the movie and stuff too. Like, it's just crazy.
but
A lot. What did you
yeah.
think of the ending, Andrew?
Yeah, I thought the ending, the main thing that stuck out to me about the ending was like, it's kind of like reinforces the idea that like, I mean, you have like obviously the Kim family and Park family at the same place, and it's just like, no matter if you're rich or poor, like your life can just like be done like that, and like you can lose loved ones no matter if you are part of the the poors or the rich people. Just like that whole ending scene is just like, I mean, obviously the dad dies, and then like Jessica dies, and then I thought Kevin died, but then you don't really get any answers, like, because the mom was talking about how like when a kid has a seizure, you have 15 minutes to get them to a hospital. Like, did the kid ever get to the hospital? Did he die? Like,
I didn't think about that.
it's kind of
But
that's like the one unanswered questions. I feel like they didn't really. I mean, you could assume, since like everybody's just sprinting and running around, and like the dad tries to get the keys and then obviously gets killed.
and then
You can assume, but
can't drive.
yeah. So
Never
I mean,
panic, but he probably didn't make it.
yeah, probably not. I assume he didn't, but it isn't really thoroughly explained. But I mean, then the ending I thought was kind of cool. How, well, not cool that the dad's in the basement, but like that he used the same form as the one, the old, the crazy guy that was in the basement, just like doing Morse code with that light.
Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect.
But his face is literally bleeding for how hard he's scratching it.
But with that, obviously, I mean, it kind of just, like you said, Arso, like the final shot is like ties back to the opening. So I mean, I think the ending's done very well.
Yeah, I guess kind of like before we kind of wrap things up, I guess Korean society, like, I feel like it has a lot of parallels to American society with issues with capitalism, specifically both Squid Game and Parasite. They get into like loan sharking and like how people are in like extreme amounts of debt.
They're very familiar.
They're very what?
Just familiar.
Yeah. And I think that's why both of these things have resonated so much, even in a US audience, is a lot of these issues that these characters face are not they're not completely new concepts to us. Like these are all things that this could have been filmed in America, and it would have fit just right in.
And the fact that the gap between the rich and the poor is getting bigger and bigger literally every day, especially with like COVID and stuff. Like the gap between the ultra rich and the poor is like everyone's poor. Fucking everyone's poor now. Insane. It's just very like understandable.
Yeah. So it's really, it's honestly like I guess what do you guys think of like the parallels between, at least it seems like, Korean society and like American society? Andrew?
I mean, I understand why they're similar, obviously, because of historical purposes.
Democratic societies, yeah. Oh yeah.
And like the U.S. setting up South Korea basically after the Korean War, so it is kind of interesting how like both countries suffer from like late stage capitalism, like at the same time. Like they just like progress naturally to like this state where there's like uber rich and like super poor people, and there's like a lot of class inequality. And I feel like Squid Game and Parasite have both kind of like opened American audiences' eyes to be like some people, very dense people would look at it and be like, oh, South Korea is fucked up. But then like,
yeah,
if you have any critical thinking skills, you realize that's exactly America as well. And
exactly. Like this shit could happen.
Yeah.
This shit could happen.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, it can. And I mean, even I can't think of any off the top of my head recently, but I know like in the past, like psycho people will find like super rich celebrities and just, go after them basically. So
Manson murder.
Yeah. That's
like
what I was mainly thinking of. But yeah, I mean, it opens American audiences' eyes to stuff that's going on around them, even though, the film is not directly based on America.
Yeah, I forgot to put this list. Yeah, and like same with pretty much everything you guys said. Like there's so many themes that are just resonating between both societies because they're so. I mean, they're both American societies at the end of the day. Even South Korea, it's an American-funded society. But I forgot to put this on the list, but I want to bring this up with you guys because I don't know if you know, HBO is actually making a Parasite TV show, and yeah, and from what I've seen and I just pulled this up just so I knew I wasn't like fucking anything up. It's being created by Adam McKay, who made like like The Big Short, Vice, and Bong Joon-ho. Like I think Bong Joon-ho is like consulting on it or something. I don't know if he's like directly involved. But it's supposed to be an original story set in the Parasite world. It's not going to be a remake of the movie.
Parasite cinematic universe.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know. What are your
reality?
Yeah, reality. Yeah. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I don't know. I'm kind of clueless on that one.
Go chase that bag, Bong. But like Snowpiercer got its TV series. Now Parasite's getting its TV series. Like it's very interesting. I don't know why they couldn't just keep them as movies. I don't think if an American movie is super successful that they would let a South Korean, media company come in and make a TV series about it to make more money off it. But
it's interesting. Like, I don't know what direction they would take because they almost have to have the subject matter or maybe some of the themes be similar if it's going to be under this name. But like, it's obvious they can't just remake what they did.
Yeah, they said it's not going to be a remake. They
Yeah,
said it's going to be an original story set in the same universe as the film.
but like, yeah, like
that's just the real world
of America, bro.
It's just the way the world is. What do you mean the same universe? Like
that universe is our universe.
The Earth's cinematic universe.
Literally.
ECU.
The ECU.
Out because I love this movie, but at the same time, it's like I don't know why. Yeah.
So kind of going into kind of wrap up mode. What is everyone's favorite scenes? Maybe some scenes they want to shout out that they really enjoyed. If there's a scene you didn't like, go ahead and shout that out as well. And then obviously go into your final, summary, your in-depth thoughts, and your rating of the film. So let's start off with Andrew. What's some of your favorite scenes of the film?
So my favorite scene is the whole sequence where they're getting the housemaid out and Belt of Faith is playing. One, because that is one of my favorite movie tracks like ever. Yeah. And it's like the whole it's like the culmination of their entire family finally feasting on like the final stage of like integrating completely with this family. And just like how creative they are with getting her framed as somebody who has tuberculosis. Like, what the fuck? It's just like it's a very interesting scene, and it's like kind of like after you've seen the whole movie, you realize it's the tipping point for the entire plot, because obviously the housemaid and her husband are the downfall of the Kim family as well. So it's just kind of just kind of spirals out of control after that point. I think I don't really know if there's any like least favorite ones, but there are a lot of stressful ones, that's for sure. Yeah. Specifically, the one that I got the most stressed out the first time and second time watching is when the whole family is under that table, and the parks are like fucking on the couch right next to them, or about to, and then it's just like there's so many times where they could have gotten caught, and especially like when the family actually gets out from under the table and is about to leave, and then like the kid wakes up the mom and dad, and they're just like standing in the background while the mom and dad are like staring out the window. It's like insanely stressful to watch those scenes like in real time while you're watching them. But I mean, overall, it's probably like top 5 favorite movies I've ever seen. Just because there's so many like subtle like symbolism and like overarching themes in it that are like so creatively introduced and well done, that like I don't think I could watch this movie ever and be like, man, I'm like, this movie is kind of like it's kind of mid. Like there's no way you could call this movie mid. Like it would be hard fought unless you watch like your favorite movie is like Joe Dirt or like Anchorman or something. that this movie would not be like at least a 8.5 out of 10 for you. It's just like if you realize what's going on in society today, you really appreciate this movie. Not to sound like an elitist asshole, but like if you like have open eyes as to what's going on, where you can realize that like a lot of stuff happening in real life is not like, people spin it as like a race versus race thing, but it really should be like a class versus class thing, because people let all these like racial tensions and everything build up without realizing that like the rich are just like watching and laughing basically. And I think watching this movie, especially watching it before all the stuff that happened last year in 2020, all the Trumpers, the election, the BLM stuff, and then watching it again now after that kind of like also like heightens your awareness of what's going on in the movie, because you can kind of like sniff out some of the shadier shit that's going on in the movie. But I mean, at the end of the day, I would like to declare myself part of the Bong Hive now. Whatever his next movie is, I will be there to watch it. I mean, I 100% see why it won Best Picture. It's one of the best movies I've ever watched in my life. So, I mean, I'd give it a straight 10 out of 10, honestly.
Yeah, and I guess I'll hop in there too, because a lot of my sentiment resembles yours. The favorite scenes, the switch, obviously, where they go into the basement and that shit goes down. It's so I love that scene. It always gives me goosebumps every time I watch it. I love the ending montage. Almost kind of got me a little fucked up a little watching it. Not gonna lie, I don't know why. Watching it this time, I got a little emotional watching it. I got to give a shout out. We haven't mentioned it. The cinematography in this film. I know we say it a lot, but it's always worth mentioning. Beautifully shot film. absolutely beautifully shot film. And yeah, and I think just those are probably my two favorite scenes. Also the great line, what's the best plan? No plan. Me and my dad sometimes shoot that to each other, like in passing. Like it's
Love
yeah. But no, I absolutely adore this film. I remember I remember when it won Best Picture. I've always like whenever a movie won Best Picture, usually I feel like the Oscars get it wrong. I don't think usually their selection is pretty on point, but usually who they crown the winner, I don't usually agree with. And a lot of the predictions that night thought it was going to go to 1917 because Korean films underdog, I guess, because it's not English language film. But I remember when it won, I literally was like, yes, like I literally was like, I like said out loud, like, yes, like Parasite won. Because I do think it's like the best picture winner of first of all, the last 10 years, no doubt. And then it's also one of the best picture winners ever. I think it's a sentiment to how amazing this film is, how masterfully created this film is, that it is the first, English foreign language film to win Best Picture. I think it's an instant classic. I think it's, what cinema is at its finest. And maybe I can nitpick and say like on rewatch, you're really trying to get to that second half because second half just goes 0 to 100. And kind of like, on some rewatches, I'm like, okay, I already know where the first half is going, but the first half is really crucial for setting up the second half. And yeah, I absolutely love this film. I think it's I think it is going to go down as one of the all-time greats, one of the greatest films of all time. And I think it is a classic. And yeah, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I absolutely I absolutely love this film. And yeah, I'm part of the Bong Hive as well. I've seen another one. Like I said, I've seen The Host, and The Host is also amazing. And Korean just media in general has been killing it. This film is a masterpiece in every sense of the word. So
You should watch Snowpiercer.
Yeah, I gotta watch Snowpiercer.
Very good.
Honestly,
very good.
But,
it's kind of like
yeah.
another class versus class type movie. So
Yeah, but it's fucking Parasite, dude. If you haven't seen Parasite, go watch it. But John, wrap us up, boy. Give us your favorite scenes and give us that rating.
Absolutely. So, I actually really like the scene right before the switch. And the switch obviously is incredible and it's super intense and suspenseful, but like that moment of just bliss right before, where like they're all just, it's the calm before the storm. Literally, it's storming outside. That something's going to happen, but it's just like, it's so nice and well shot too. And with how beautiful the home is in general, it looks awesome. And they're just like having dinner, drinking together, but like, as a watcher, that that can't last long. I want to call out a scene that none of us have mentioned yet, or maybe I have, but I actually really love the cinematography in the scene where like Mr. Kim and Kevin go out to like throw water on the guy that keeps pissing.
Yeah.
I had to call that out because it's like
it's iconic.
It's the perfect slow motion, and like then when the camera pans to Jessica recording it happening in slow motion, I'm like, I just thought that was so cool and unique.
Then he misses the guy that's pissing.
Yeah,
he just hits Kevin with the full bucket.
Literally, it's like I'm still trying to kind of figure out the symbolism in that because I know it means something. But I mean, just on that.
You know what I would say the symbolism is?
What is it? Or what do you think?
When they're trying to target someone else, they ended up just fucking themselves over.
Oh, shit. Honestly, yeah. That's probably
for Octar.
And shit, that's what I love about this movie too, is that if I were to have a small complaint, I think at times the Park family is almost too gullible, specifically the mom, to the point where it's like convenient for storytelling. But other than that, I don't think there's really a lot to complain about, because it is believable, and it's super raw, it's thrilling, it's suspenseful. It keeps you on the edge of your seat, especially during the second half and during the switch. And like I said, there's a lot of symbolism. There's a lot of symbolic shots that I'm excited to like really dissect and better understand on future viewings of the movie. And I also appreciate like the main message of the film. And I think it's something that's more apparent every day. And it's something that we've all talked about and that we're annoyed about. Like we go to college and we're doing pretty well for ourselves, but like I figure we feel like we probably should be doing even better for ourselves considering where we're at. But I think with everything being said, and how like easy it is to follow, but how it is really unexpected too. I would give Parasite a 9.5. Not quite a 10, unfortunately, yet for me. I do want to watch it again and see if my rating changes, but there were just a few things that happened in the movie where I thought maybe it was a little too convenient. And like, how the fuck did the Park family not notice the entire Kim family under their coffee table? Like, there were moments of storytelling that I thought were a little convenient, but it's kind of a nitpick.
Also, you saw the movie yesterday, so it's like,
and I did, yeah,
like probably hard to choose a 10 out of 10 rating.
Exactly.
24 hours.
I feel like most things that I would give a 10 out of 10, I've seen a few times and I've had some time to digest. And maybe next week I'll come back and be like, hell yeah, like I've been thinking about it more and I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 and we'll be able to update our score so that it's an official ControllerCast perfect score. But for now, I think what does it sit out at?
9.8.
9.8. Same
Yeah,
with a while. So
yeah, I mean, there's the three things that we've rated just for reference, like kind of our echelon. Like I was kind of curious. I figure you're probably gonna give it 9.5 because you just saw it for the first time like yesterday. I mean, I will never give anything a 10 out of 10 until like at least a month, usually after I've seen it. But at least the first time. But just for reference, like the only things that have a 10 out of 10 in our entire meta ranking is The Last of Us 1 and 2. And then we have pretty high esteemed things for 9.8. We have Breath of the Wild that had a 9.8 overall. We have The Shining, which is a 9.8 overall. And now we have Parasite, which is 9.8 overall for ControllerCast. So there you go. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this discussion. It was a long time coming. I was ready for the day we were going to talk about this movie because I love this film. I'm sure Andrew was too. But John, I'm glad you finally saw it.
Yeah,
and liked it as much as you did.
I love that I finally got to watch it. It was really cool. Thanks, Andrew, for the Blu-ray copy.
Yeah,
of course, bro. Now I gave it to Jared, so we're gonna get Jared to watch that shit.
Wait, Andrew, one last thing I want to ask you. Where did you watch the black and white version?
Oh, if you have the digital copy on front that you like, I bought the disc and then like redeemed the digital copy, and the Apple 4K like version has a black and white option where you can just watch it in black and white. I didn't watch it in black and white.
Oh, okay.
I watched the first intro scene in black and white. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's probably just kind of like a gimmick at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't add anything or subtract anything except color.
Yeah. Well, that is our take on Parasite. I hope you guys enjoyed our little conversation about this honestly, fantastic film. We can all agree on at this point. Best Picture winner 2019. And yeah, we're all on the Bong Hive.
I think we even the Rotten Tomatoes score perfectly. I think it has a 90%.
Yeah, I think it does actually. But funny how that always works out. But that's never planned. That's never our plan.
Not.
I mean, just for reference, like we gave Eternals like 7.5, but that was like a 48%. So never planning it. But there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Parasite, episode 31. Always, if you enjoy it, share it with friends. Always keep tuning in. Always love the support that we get. And yeah, always tune in for next time. That's Ursula signing off. See you guys.
See you guys. Thanks for listening.
See you guys. Thank you.